Hey guys, I'm here with little Monica Sophia. Today I thought I would do a little character video. I've been actually meaning to do this with my SD dolls, but I always kind of put it to the side because either one doesn't have a body yet, and then there's just too much vagueness. I don't know yet, kind of a thing. So I just wasn't really ready to share with you guys, but I thought I would go ahead and start with this girl, and then hopefully I could work my way down and then share with you guys how these characters will come together. um, so but anyway, the first thing is she actually and finally have a name. Her name is Hailey. I really like the tone of the name, I guess, and I feel like whenever I say it, it really matches her really well, I think. So I decided to call her Hailey. So now before I get into her, I'm going to talk a little bit about her parents. So her mother has this really unique quality that handed down generation after generation to the eldest girl of that family. And her mother actually had this quality of communicating with spirits. She was very open. Her mind was just open gate. Like, she could take in pretty much anything. And as a young person, she really loved to explore, and she loved the nature. Of course, spirit world, there's, people, but there's animals, there's just environmental, surroundings, and just the aura. Like, she could pretty much read that very, very well. And she had, I think, like, her mother had more of a uniqueness because she could actually translate that into, like, how people would understand it, without giving them kind of really off feeling about this person. So she was very people person. She was very outgoing, and she had a big, big hair. Like, that's just kind of the thing that I'm envisioning her, like, really big curly hair, and, like, she doesn't have to wear any makeup, and it's just someone that is very flowy, and yeah. So that's kind of how I envision her, and she carries that very uniqueness quality to her. And one day when she's about like 20, 21, she meets this person who is very handsome, but he actually was working towards to become an architect, and that's going to be Hailey's father. Now, he's very strict on himself. He is very perfectionist, and he works very hard. And in a lot of ways, they're very total opposite from each other. But I think that's what really kind of attracted to one another. And they fall in madly, madly in love, and they finally get married, and they settle. They settle in the city area because of his job, and he does become an architect, and he becomes very busy. And they didn't have a child for a very long time. Over 10 years, they didn't have a child, and they were blessed with Hailey after they were married for like 10 some years. And all along this time, Hailey's father actually he had like a secret mission. He really wanted it to present to his wife, to kind of show his love, I guess. He has been building like a little cabin up in the mountain, because he knows that the nature and just the environment that they were in, he knew that, how much it meant to his wife. So he builds very cozy little one bedroom cabin up in the mountain for like a getaway purposes. And he's been doing that from ever since they were married. He was envisioning this place, and he actually put a work to it, and he built it like by himself. He would go up there once in a while, and he would build it. He would get all the materials, and he just built it from the scratch. And that took a very long time because he really, like I said, he's a perfectionist, so he wanted everything to be good before he would present it to his wife. So when Hailey turns about 5, that's when he feels that it's ready. The cabin is ready, and and he took both of them up into the mountain, and he gives them this really grand gift. And of course, well, she was a little girl at the time, so she was just really happy to be anywhere. But that was just kind of very beautiful moment. Like the mother, she felt very blessed. And, of course I don't know how to put it, but it was just very grand for her. And of course, that much of time and effort and his energy was put into that. So that place becomes very significant to Hailey, and their legacy kind of is still there. So that's kind of like her, I guess, her parents' story, but it really leads into her as well, because Hailey has very unique and amazing quality to her as well. She doesn't have this ability to communicate with spirits, whatever the reason. She doesn't have that, even though she's the eldest of this family. However, she is a dreamer. She dreams about things, bits and pieces of other people's lives, and she doesn't know how to interpret it. Like, she would just dream about it, and she just feels like that's just a dream. It's been going on ever since she was young. So she kind of thinks it's the story. And, when she was younger, and she would just like run around, and then she would catch her mom, like she would hug her, and then, like she would just talk about like bits and pieces of her dream. And of course her mother knew that that was very special quality that she was gifted. But she just let it be. She didn't really force her to give all the stories that she dreamt. Like, she just kind of let it be. And she really wanted Hailey to be just as open and just as like herself, without restricting her into this kind of, oh, you're this. So her mother just kind of let it like all happen just naturally. And they would visit to the cabin more often, and most likely, like, I guess at the time, like, they would spend like the whole summer up there, or like, something like that. So that place becomes very like regular to them. And when Hailey turns about 16, her parents mysteriously gets killed. But it actually got ruled as an accidental death, which just didn't make sense to even young Hailey. It just wasn't something that she could, I guess, tolerate at the time. So she kind of blocks out everything, and her demeanor kind of changes to this very isolated, because those are the two people that she absolutely loved, like, no questions. And they were her best friends. They were her, even though they were her parents, they were more like companion to her. And to lose both of them at the same time was very hard on her. And of course, she's a minor, and she couldn't really live by herself. So her aunt, younger sister of her mom, takes her in. And the environment change was very different for her, because the younger sister of her mom is more of a materialistic, and she lives in the city life. She loves the city life. She has to get nicer things. She's all into gadgets and, modern, like, no, in her apartment, there's nothing modern about it. Even the plants were fake because, she didn't have time to water them. So, Hailey's environment just changed. Like, everything changes to her when she's about 15 or 16. And she longs for her parents, and she longs for this cabin that, that they made so many wonderful memories of. And that kind of goes on for a little bit, and her aunt knows, because it's, it runs down her family, that her sister was gifted with very special power, or like an ability, and she was left with pretty much just normal life, and I think she resent that a little bit. So when she finds out that Hailey has this kind of really weird-ish to her kind of power to this girl, like she would talk about her dreams to her aunt, and then she somehow finds that that really happens the next day or something along that sense. I haven't really worked out a detail, but so her aunt wants to use that ability to make more money. Which, I mean, she's not a bad person. She loves Hailey, her niece, and she loved her sister, even though there was that sibling resentment a little bit because she wasn't gifted with that gift. And but she still, nevertheless, she loved the family, and that's why she took in Hailey as well. But she finds out about this unique quality to her. She kind of wants to put it into use. Yeah. So, and then I think, I have a little bit more story about that, but then once Hailey turns 18, she really wants to go back to this cabin. So she moves back out there by herself, and I will talk a little bit about that, like a little transition that she does make. But anyway, so that's kind of, she moves back into the cabin, and then I'm just gonna stop here for now. I don't know, this is long enough video, so I will go ahead and make part 2 at some point. But so yeah, so when she turns 18, she moves back, and then I would just go ahead and leave it off here. So hopefully it was at least vaguely interesting, and I hope to do this and really kind of let you guys know who they are. And like I said, all of my SD dolls will come together, so I will share that with you as well, how they all come together. So I hope you guys are having really, really enjoyable Sunday, and I hope to talk to you guys soon. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye!